Okay, in this lesson today, we're looking at identifying angle relationships. The first definition we're going to start with is for adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are two angles that share a ray and a vertex, and they have to both share the ray and the vertex both. So if you look at this first angle that I have right here, we have two angles, and another way to name angles is just to put a number inside the angle. And so I have angle 1 and I have angle 2, and they are adjacent because they share both the ray, here's the ray, and the vertex. If you look at the angles that I have over here, these angles are considered not adjacent because they don't share a ray and a vertex both. If you look at this one, those two angles do share a vertex, but they don't share a common ray. They don't have, these two sides don't touch and look like one side. And these two just aren't adjacent. They don't have anything in common between each other. If you look at the example, it says which angles are adjacent to angle 5. So for these types of problems, you just want to find your angle 5. It's the one with the number 5 in it. And then you want to see what angles are adjacent to it. And another way to think of adjacent is that they're touching. So if you look, we've got angle 6 right here. That's one option. We could say angle 6 is adjacent to angle 5. And then we also have angle 4 right there. Angle 4 is adjacent to angle 5. So which angles are adjacent to angle 5? Angle 6 and angle 4. But then you can get other types of problems that'll say which angles are adjacent to angle AFB. So then you'll get one, we're looking at that guy right there. And the ones that people get most often and are absolutely correct are this one right here, angle EFA, or angle CFB. There's also other ones in there that people miss. People miss that there's this big angle right here, angle DFA. See how that big angle is one big angle made up of two littler angles, but it's still next to and is a touching angle AFB. So you got to keep an eye out for bigger angles that could also be adjacent. The next vocabulary term that we're going to look at is complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to be 90 degrees. And one way that you'll see 90 degrees indicated in pictures or shown in pictures is that they'll use that little box. And if they don't show you that little box, you can't assume that it's a right angle just because it looks like it is. So be careful and watch out for that little box. So if you look what we have here, I've got angle ABD is going to be complementary to angle DBC. And I know that they're going to add up to be 90 degrees because they both make up that right angle ABC. Another way to know that two angles are complementary is that they add up to be 90 degrees. So 30 plus 60 is going to be 90. So angle E plus angle F is equal to 90 degrees. So they're complementary. They don't have to be adjacent in order to be complementary. People, whenever they do these, a lot of times they have trouble remembering, well, there's complementary, and then down here below here in a minute, you're going to see that we're going to talk about supplementary, and they have trouble remembering which one's which. The way I remember is if you see right there, complementary is made up of the word complement, and I always remember it's the right thing to do to compliment someone. So there you get the complement for complementary, and it's the right thing being 90 degrees. So that's how I remember it. There are other people that say, well, if you throw a straight line in there, right there, that turns that CO into a 90, which looks like 90 for 90 degrees. Whichever way helps you remember, use whatever works for you. Okay, so if we're looking in pictures and it says which angles are complementary to angle CDA, first thing you want to do is go in and find the picture, the angle, so CDA. So there's that angle. So then I'm keeping an eye out for that right angle mark, and see that right angle symbol in there? So I know for sure that the big angle CDA is a right angle. So this angle plus the other angle in there is going to equal 90. So an angle that is complementary to angle CDA is angle BDA. Don't forget to be putting the vertex in the middle whenever you're naming those angles. Looking at the next example, it says which angle is complementary to angle BFC. So it's a little blurry, but we've got A, B, C, D, E, and F. So we're looking BFC. So we're looking at that angle right there. Now remember, I said it's got to have that 90-degree angle. You see how this is a straight line? Straight lines are 180 degrees. And if this one's 90, this angle over here has to be 90 as well, because 90 plus 90 equals 180. So since I know for sure that this angle is 90 degrees too, I know that this angle right there is going to be my complementary angle. So I would say my complementary angle would be angle BFA. And to go along with complementary is supplementary. Supplementary angles are two angles that add up to be 180 degrees. And if we look at a picture of that, I've got this one right here. And so I would say that angle XWZ is going to be supplementary. Angle XWY is going to be supplementary to angle YWZ. And we know that because whenever we have a line, lines are going to be 180 degrees. The other way that you could see these is that you can have two separate angles, and they give you the measurements for the angles. And so with this one, 20 plus 160 is going to be 180. So I can say angle M and angle N are going to be supplementary. If we start looking at those in examples, I've got angle CFE, and they want to know supplementary. And the shortcut for supplementary that people have showed me is you add a 1 there, and you add a line there, a diagonal line, and it makes it look like 180. So that's another way to remember that supplementary means 180 degrees. So angle CFE, we're looking at this angle right here. So we're looking for it to make a line. So if I'm looking for it to make a line, if I extend one of the rays that make that angle out the other direction, you see how I get this straight line right there? And that angle right there? And those two together, it makes a line. One angle that is supplementary is going to be this one right here, angle CFB. But that's not the only ray that makes up that angle. There could be another ray right here that extends, and you always want to double check just in case they decide to put them there. There isn't one, so there isn't another an angle that is supplementary to angle CFE. Angle CFB is going to be the only one. All right, looking at the next one, it says which angles are supplementary to angle BEC. You're going to start getting pictures that have a lot of stuff to them. Focus on what they want you to be looking at. So we're looking at BEC, and we're looking for supplementary. So we're looking for it to add to be 180 degrees. That means I don't need any of this picture right there. So all I need to focus on right here and what will help me add to be 180 degrees. So if I look at that and extend one of the rays like I showed you, right there, there's one of our angles that add up to be 180 degrees, or supplementary for angle BEC, and that's going to be angle AEB. The other one that we have right there, if we extend the other one to give us that angle right there, could also be supplementary. That's going to be angle DEF. Okay, and that's supplementary.